So, if you're a retiree living on a fixed income and are also seeing how your monthly check can't keep up with the rising cost of living, well, there is some good news that I want to share with you. And I want to ask you a question. Have you ever heard of envelope cash stuffing? And if so, have you ever considered using it to help get out of credit card debt? Please comment below and let me know. Now, folks, welcome back to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. I would appreciate it. And turn on notifications so you will receive alerts when new information is uploaded and shared, which is designed to help you and discover the most accurate, up-to-date, and helpful information and new videos to see you gain access to additional resources to help cope and survive through these tough and difficult economic times, as well as future updates on benefits, aid packages, Social Security, SSA, disability, SSI, and SSDI, EBT, food stamps, p-ebt allotments, free money through government grants, and other supplemental stimulus programs coming, and so much more. All right, guys. I don't like doing long intros, so let's get right into the video that you came to see.
My brain is going overtime thinking about a whole lot of different things that happened over my lifetime so far. And I just wanted to share this story with you, especially to those that possibly have lost their jobs or are wondering how they're going to make it, if they're going to make it during this down spin of the economy.
States inflation relief checks are expected to go out. The first group to receive money will be those who received a Golden State stimulus payment last year via direct deposit. Funds will go first to low-income residents and then to people earning less than $75,000 a year. The second batch will go to stimulus recipients who got their 2021 payments by debit card.
Now, these are just scenarios right now, but it's significant to think about because millions of retirees depend on Social Security as a major piece of their income. But the fact is, the implications are that some retirees could get bumped out of the income limit, so they may be taxed on. They may come into a tax situation with their Social Security benefits. And some people in the lower incomes could actually lose some benefits if the check goes up.
They deserve to retire with dignity and peace of mind. And that's how it should be in the United States of America. Some of you are on Social Security, or your parents or your grandparents are. They earned it. They earned every single paycheck. They put money in since they were teenagers to pay for Social Security. And those are more than government programs. They're a promise we made as a country to work hard and contribute, and when it comes time to retire, we're going to be there for you. We're going to be there for you. Be there for you.
And I just wanted to share this story with you, especially to those that possibly have lost their jobs or are wondering how they're going to make it, if they're going to make it during this down spin of the economy. Your finances are not right. You have anxiety building up constantly. You don't know whether you're going to get through. I just want to encourage you that you are going to get through. Yeah, you're going to get through. No matter what it looks like, you're going to get through. I just want to share this story about a couple of years ago. I lost my job after working in this facility that I was working at for 21 years. And when I got injured on the job, that's what happened. I got injured on the job, and my thought is, okay, I got injured. When you get injured, you get healed, don't you? So I'm thinking, all you need to do is put me on a different assignment, and I'll be good to go. Well, I want you to know that is not what happened. This job dragged me through the mud, y'all. I mean, as if they didn't even know me. And I'm one of those people that when I went to work, I did an excellent job, I thought. I mean, it reflected in my yearly performance rating. I was doing above average of what I should have been doing. And I enjoyed my job. That was the other thing. I really enjoyed my job. So when these things happened, I was stunned. I was shocked. I was like, oh, I thought, I was part of the team. I thought you get injured, you go through a process to get healed, and then you go back to work. The first thing I had to do was to go to my physician to find out what was wrong with the body because it wasn't performing the way it should because I was injured. Once he made the diagnosis, he made several recommendations for me, y'all. And one of them being to change my schedule immediately. I was working night shift, and the body for me, after doing this for several, I guess this was about the third year maybe the second year I had been there, and I had switched to a night shift. Well, between the night shift and the job that I was performing, the body got damaged. And so I ended up with bilateral carpal tunnel syndrome and fibromyalgia, just so you know. But the bottom line was, okay, I got those titles, those diagnoses. However, what is the process to correct it and get me back to the way I used to be? And one of the main things the doctor kept recommending is that to reverse what we were doing. Reverse what you were doing, because all of that was from repetitive motion. So when this happened, I know we need to find another way to repair and restore. And we were on the right track, except one thing. The employer did not want to accommodate me according to the requests of the doctor. So long story short, I had to go through the whole process of waiting for disability retirement. And I don't know about everybody else, but you don't know when those papers are going to be finalized. All I do know is that you're going to get a barrage of doorbell rings with papers and more papers to sign and have them validated and time stamped and all that to send back into disability retirement. Oh my God, compensation. It was huge, y'all. It was a huge process. But I tell you what, I had just purchased my home the year before, and I was in the middle of wondering how all of this was going to turn out because they stopped my salary immediately. I'm still trying to understand. There were other people in the same or similar situation as myself, and they got paid while they were awaiting a decision on their injury on the job. So my question always was, why did you stop my salary immediately, but you didn't do the same for others? Well, long story short, we won't even go into that, you guys, but the bottom line was, while I was out all that time, my God showed me who was really in charge of everything, as he always does. He is my provider. He showed me so many different ways in which to keep on keeping on. He showed me that my home that he blessed me with was not going anywhere. It's going to be right there. It was going to be the roof over my head for the duration of all that I'm going through. He told me that my sons were going to be fine in the midst of all this, and they really showed out. My two sons, I could never thank God enough for these young men that he raised up from children to manhood. Oh my God. What he showed me through all of that is that God is mighty. And I want you to know that through all of those 4 years, I never missed a beat. I never went to bed anxious at all. I went to bed with a joy in my heart. I woke up with a bird on the ledge of my window tweeting every morning. And I know that was God because he knows I love birds. And he also knew I had to get up, whether I wanted to or not. Get up, answer those papers that came in yesterday, get them out and in the mail on time. Keep it moving, Janine. You are going to make it through all of this. God is amazing, y'all. He even showed me how to use the bartering system. I want to tell you about that real quick. The bartering system. I babysat while I was home without a salary. And I only did that because people in the neighborhood saw that I was home and they rang my bell. I thought that was an honor. You rang my bell for me to take care of your precious babies, and you don't even know anything about me except from what you're seeing. That's an honor, you guys. And I was like, oh, this will work. Only thing I can't do is pick up your babies and hug them. Of course, I had to cash in all of my savings. I had my children's college funds. I had mutual funds. I had vacation funds. I had instruments in place for retirement and everything else. I had to use all of that, but the Lord reminded me again, that's why you had it, to keep on keeping on. You might have to change things sometimes. You might have to tweak things sometimes in your life, guys. But whatever you got to do, take a moment and rest in the Lord. Get the wisdom that you need downloaded to you.
So if you're a retiree living on a fixed income and are also seeing how your monthly check can't keep up with the rising cost of living, well, there is some good news that I really want to share with you. So to help you and millions of other fixed income and government dependent Americans maintain purchasing power, the Social Security Administration, the SSA, is raising Social Security benefit amounts again next year. This increase to check totals and direct deposits is evaluated annually, and adjustments are made via a cost of living adjustment, COLA, with the next major increase to be seen on your next January 2023 Social Security check. And if you want to know how to get more money and increased values of checks, then pay close attention to what I have to share with you. All right, so the cost of living is the amount of money you have to spend on essential everyday purchases to live in your area. The factors that affect the cost of living adjustments and the expenses categories that are typically considered part of your cost of living are as follows: housing, rent and mortgage payments, food, clothing, healthcare, education, and transportation. And according to 2021 data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average cost of living in America is a little over $62,000 per household, or $5,100 a month. Now, please give this video a like if you can agree that that number has definitely increased in the last year. I just want to get a gauge of how many folks watching are being impacted and affected by the increased and continuously increasing costs in our economy, and especially those costs tied so heavily to basic daily necessities and essentials like housing, rent and mortgage payments, food, clothing, healthcare, education, and transportation. And of course, your specific cost of living will vary by where in the country you live. So for folks who live in Hawaii, for example, will typically see a rise in essential purchases costs nearly twice as much as in the continental United States. And in terms of housing, well, the Hawaiian Islands have limited land, so real estate is more expensive there than in a large continental state like New Mexico. Plus, since Hawaii has to import most of its goods from the mainland, food costs more than in farm-heavy Midwest states like Kansas. Yet the main question that is on a lot of people's minds is perhaps the most important to be answered. And that is, will this year's COLA, or cost of living adjustment, be high enough to keep up with inflation? Well, before I answer that, please allow me to share some very important information and ways that you too can maintain your cost of living on a fixed budget. And these are helpful real-life tips from personal experience of my own, as my mom is a Social Security recipient on a fixed budget and a caregiver to my 96-year-old grandmother in an area that has experienced extremely high price increases, accompanied by the recent and rapid growth in the area that they live in. So needless to say, times can get a little tough and money needs to be stretched often to make ends meet. However, the extra money provided from the COLA increase will certainly help extend your buying power. But on its own, it is less likely to keep your wallets in check with the increased prices. These tips can help ensure your higher Social Security check goes as far as possible next year. So first, we like to start by doing some digging to find better deals. And I know for some that old habits die hard, and this includes long-held spending habits. Maybe you've shopped at the same chain grocery store for years because you're used to it, or perhaps you've stuck with your car insurance provider for so long that you simply assume you're getting a good rate. But many seniors miss out on money when they settle for what's familiar instead of researching better options. For instance, switching car insurance providers can save you as much as $500 a year. That's money you could get back if you take the time to compare options. Or you could save money by buying certain items from Costco instead of Amazon or vice versa. This type of precise budgeting requires you to dig into the details. So it takes a good deal of time, but can be well worth the potential savings if you can dedicate enough time to finding deals on every expense, from groceries to clothes to prescriptions. You'll have a head start on making the most of 2023's increased Social Security checks. Next, take a break. Consider foregoing paid activities and replacing them with free ones instead. Going to the movies, seeing a concert, or traveling for vacation are all enjoyable ways to spend your time, but they all have a high price tag. And while you don't necessarily need to swap out all your paid fun for free fun options, it's worth thinking through which activities you can live with and live without until inflation levels out. And if you are like me and love the movie theater, well, then there are ways to find out where the nearest dollar theater or cheap weekly special is, and switching your weekly movie night to the $5 Tuesday or a cheaper Saturday matinee as well. Perhaps you are a lover of the great outdoors, and so by simply checking Google Maps to find every local park in your area, you can gain access to some 100% free enjoyment by visiting those in turn. And don't forget to take advantage of perks like the National Park Service Senior Pass as well. Also, finding ways to supplement your Social Security check will go a very long way. So in June of 2022, the SSA reported the average monthly Social Security check totaled just over $1,540 a month. That number is obviously much lower than any cost of living measurement, so finding ways to supplement your Social Security benefits can give you a little financial breathing room, especially if you're considering early retirement. More on that in a future video. And in the gig economy, there are part-time side hustles and ways to make extra money for everyone. Earn pocket money by simply filling out surveys, testing products, or delivering for DoorDash a few times a day. Up your passive income by offering storage space through Neighbor.com or ShareMySpace.com. Sell some items you've been meaning to get rid of on Facebook Marketplace even. Whatever you can do to claim some extra cash, go for it. Every penny counts. And so the bottom line is this, folks. Next year, you can make the most of your extra money from the SSA by assessing your spending habits, capitalizing on deals, and earning money with the occasional side gig. Together with your increased Social Security payment, strategies like these will help you retain your purchasing power in tricky financial times, which are sure to present themselves in the very near future. And however unfortunate it may seem, we must understand that even though the CPI is the main metric the Social Security Administration uses to measure inflation, it doesn't always offer the most up-to-date or accurate information. Most problematically, it gathers data only from businesses with physical storefronts, which means it's definitionally behind the times, as a vast majority of business is being conducted virtually, online, and via websites and apps like Amazon and Walmart.com. And so as a result, the CPI doesn't necessarily reflect the reality of on-the-ground inflation, which means COLA, cost of living adjustment increases based on this CPI are rarely as high as they need to be. Plus, the annual adjustment is meant to match the inflation rate at the start of the year. So it doesn't consider potential changes over the next 12 months and will always pretty much be a few steps behind the true cost and prices we see and have to pay every day. Comment below if you were receiving Social Security benefits when the 5.9% adjustment came through in January of 2022, because you know the start of year adjustment wasn't nearly high enough to cope with the upcoming inflation spike that we have experienced. And coming up next, envelope cash stuffing. People are using cash stuffing in envelopes to get out of credit card debt and budget better for future costs, price increases, and the rise of inflation, providing a new look at how a new generation rediscovers this old budgeting trick, as well as future updates on benefits, aid packages, Social Security, SSA, disability, SSI and SSDI, EBT, food stamps, p-ebt allotments, free money through government grants, and other supplemental stimulus programs coming, and so much more. Please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Turn on notifications and comment down below. I would really like to get to know you all and discover more ways that I can provide you with the most accurate, up-to-date, and helpful information and new videos to see you gain access to additional resources to help cope and survive through these tough and difficult financial times. Until next time, you all take care and be safe.